Hello and welcome to the Blossoming Unity podcast. We are Dennis and Nicole, and we're here to introduce you into the conversation about different spiritual perceptions, techniques, and methodologies in order for you to have inspiration for your day-to-day life. Hello and welcome.
That was extremely motivated. Like, hello, good morning. Like, who cares?
It just goes to show, even if you're not motivated, if you still go and do it, you can still achieve things.
I know. I do that all the time. It's called discipline.
Let's go.
That's a
Let's
good
do
thing.
it.
Yeah. People always confuse, like, nowadays, I see a lot of people like confusing like this. Oh, I really don't feel doing it because it really, I can feel there is a constriction against this and this and that. Yeah, well, who cares? You have to do it anyways. Like, it's, yeah.
Well, I mean, you
People
don't have
confuse,
to.
no, but people confuse often intuition with emotion, with
Mm.
with blocks. I see that very often.
It's usually confused. Intuition is confused a lot. So whenever you're working with intuition, there's no emotion involved and there's no
Yeah.
restriction involved. It's
Yeah.
just there. You're gonna do something with it or
It's
not.
yes, it's just a pop of energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an idea or yeah. Yeah. I wrote an article about that like long time ago, actually, like maybe a year ago, 9 months ago. And it's really interesting because I saw it so often in, especially in healers and therapists and coaches and like, you know, and I was like, why do people have no discipline? Like, why? What's the problem with discipline in our society in general?
Mm.
Like, people are starting something and they're like, yeah, but no, I don't feel it. Well, yeah, because there's a block coming up and you should like look at it. Like it's difficult because there are three options when a block is coming up. Either it's something that is really a block. It could be something that really wants to tell you like not to go somewhere or not to do it because it's dangerous, or it's something that you're just too lazy, and it's difficult to understand which one of this it is.
Right.
So yeah, if you want
And
to learn
then
more about discipline.
when it comes to healers or teachers or anything of that nature, is their discipline isn't going to fit someone else's discipline. So it's like we're not creating cookie cutter versions of the same spiritual teacher or being. So for one person, discipline could be, we'll say for one teacher, their discipline is I get up every day at 4 o'clock and I do my daily practice as soon as I wake up. Now we can look at it scientifically and say, yeah, this is a great benefit. There's a lot of successful people in that industry. But if we look at success compared to the successful people's mental health, to their emotional well-being, yeah, they got a lot of M's in the bank account, but their emotional bank is immature. There's no maturity there. Their mentality within, the very savagery. They have an animalistic attitude. So we're able to really look at, what is the discipline working for said student, and what is discipline for them? Is their discipline, maybe not waking up at 4:30 in the morning or 4 in the morning, but making sure that they're able to be at a particular pace at a particular time to get the inspiration that they need. So being able to work when you are a healer, you are a teacher, being able to say, okay, this discipline isn't going to work for everyone. The same discipline for every student or every person that's coming for knowledge, they're going to need a different discipline. Maybe it's they've been so disciplined that that's their hindrance, that they're putting themselves in this same habitual pattern over and over again, but not seeing any spiritual growth whatsoever because their discipline is now hindering them. So there's a really big open space for this. And when you are, a spiritual teacher, or, someone who is able to look at the broader picture, you're able to look and be like, yeah, so this isn't going to work for you, but this may work for you. Now you're able to check this out. And, discipline by definition, we can always, interpret differently.
I fully agree with you. I think it's what discipline does for people is something really fascinating, because what I see a lot is that when there's a lack of discipline, when you're someone that is lacking discipline and just wants to go with the flow all the time and just wants to, like, be feel into the things, and just that means that these people are living mostly in the majority in their emotional body. And the problem with living in the emotional body, like with just taking decisions by how you feel, like how, like for example, you have an appointment at a hairdresser on a Saturday at 1, but on that Saturday it's raining, and we would need to take a bus and the train, and it's a little bit annoying to get there. So a person that is just living in their emotional body would probably react completely different to those circumstances than a person that is more disciplined. And I don't judge that. You. I don't care what you do. But if you are someone that says, I think it would be good for me to have more discipline, or I don't, like, people always ask me, like, how do you achieve so much content, like how can you produce so much, like how can you have those companies and clients and give yoga and do all those things? And that is because of discipline. That is because, like we have every week is an appointment, and we're doing it every week, like unless that we're dying sick like, but we're doing it. We're either you are getting up in the middle of the night, or I do, or like we're making it work because we're disciplined humans. And I think what I meant with that was, um I just see it a lot, that being able to understand your intuition requires you to have your thoughts under control, to understand that what you think is not you, to understand what you feel is not you. It's just a source of information. And to understand your patterns and your behavior patterns, your relationship patterns is not you either. And if you take those things, what you feel, what you think, and what your habits are, into consideration, and this is like a bunch of information that you get to decide on what type of situation, how do you react on a situation, then it's more probable, more likable that you were really having intuition kicking in. Because most of the time when people say, oh, I knew intuitively that I needed to go there, it's it's not intuition, it's just a feeling.
Mm.
That's what I see a lot.
It may have, I've seen that as well. I've seen, they confusing thinking and feeling and intuition a lot. So that's why, when you speak about knowing that, you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, you're not these sensations, you're not your patterns, you're not these, being able to differentiate. Okay, was that me thinking? Was that feeling? Was that just a ponder? Was that intuition? So then you're able to, better able to understand what the intuition is. Like, oh, okay, there it is. It just arose without any emotional dilemma. It arose without anything. And it's not even necessarily a thought as well. It's almost like thinking with the body. The body just knows, because this body holds way more memory than just the mind does, or anything else that the brain can do. This body holds countless tons of memory, evolutionary and so forth. So your intuition may not be able to be processed through your thoughts because it's not something that you've experienced before, because the mind that we know it as is only, regurgitating of information we've already experienced. So if it can't put it in that box, you're going to be like, well, what is that? I don't know what it is, but there's a nudge this way. So yeah, definitely differentiating and understanding that you're not the thoughts, you're not the emotion. It comes from a different place. It comes from the stillness almost. And the best way, to connect with that stillness is to see it, and not see it like with your physical eyes how you would, but with the awareness. So when a thought arises, can you see where the thought is coming from? Can you be aware where the thought is coming from? Is it arising into the front? Is it coming from the back? Can you just watch? And can you watch as a thought's starting to come in? Where's that space that it's coming from before an emotion comes in? So then you're starting to focus on that spaciousness. Like, oh, what is that? And when you become really intrigued and very full of wonder, that intuition starts sparking like crazy. And it's funny you brought up, waking up in the middle of the night. Today, I woke, my eyes woke up, and I was like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get out of bed at all. And the mind was like, oh, don't stay in bed. It's so warm and cozy. And I
Mm.
was like, as soon as the mind started speaking, I was like, yeah, you're not me. And I got right out of bed and came on down, cut on the camera, and was ready to go.
Yeah. I like, you know, and I think that's the misconception of a lot of people. We're not getting up every morning like, woohoo, let's do this. Like,
Mm.
no, like very often, like I'm tired, like I'm tired since 5 months. I'm like literally, I'm deeply tired since 5 months. But like nobody cares. it, who cares? Nobody. And I think the discipline to move on, even though your body behaves not the way you used to, even though your mind is like, uh this negative self-talk, even though there is maybe sadness or fear around, even though all those negative emotions are there. And that's the discipline that then brings you through um, maybe also the more difficult times. It's not always sunshine and birds that are singing. Sometimes it's a fucking storm and you just have to keep on walking, you know. And and I think I just see that a lot in the spiritual community. If it's not falling into place for free and automatically, they're not doing it. And I just, and maybe that's a belief system as well, but I just experienced that when you are bringing new things onto planet Earth, and when you're creating new companies, new books, when you're like, there are many problems occurring and there are many difficulties in the way, and because the grid of planet Earth is not so easy to, like, it's not an easy energy, like to bring something from the heavens into 3D form. That's like magic. What you're doing is like you're doing magic, you're creating magic. And and sometimes it just needs willpower. You need just to have the willpower to go to walk through it. Like, that's how I experience things. But maybe that's also a belief system, maybe everything should be for free and just fall into place. But I've never experienced it like that.
Well, it does fall into place in that way. So what I noticed is some of the greatest achievements, um, that I don't really take any personal, gain from them, but most of the achievements are when obstacles arise
Yeah.
and you transfer that energy. So you're building something, right? And this thing is new. It's vast. It's going to help collective. It's going to help thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions, if not billions of people. You're going to need a massive amount of energy to be able to push through into those masses. So say you start with this little idea, right? And you see the vastness of the idea. You're going to need an obstacle to be able to take that energy, to be able to catapult moving it forward. Those obstacles fall into place to be able to gain and generate the energy to move forward with that. So, obviously through discernment, if it's something you've been doing over and over and over, you obviously have to change the way that you're doing it as well, and how you're able to move through that obstacle. So something arises, you notice the energy of that obstacle. Is this something that I need to take, or is this something that's showing me a different way on how to do something? There's always something to learn.
Or is it something that is held within me and is a block within me?
Well, it's all within us, always.
Yeah, well, it it can be within us, but it also can be in the company being and has nothing to do with you specifically. It's just the energy in the company. It's I experienced that, like when it's your own company, then not. But when you have a company with different people, then that can occur as well. It's like
Oh
really,
yeah.
like,
It depends on the company, that's the
yeah,
person that started that company originally. Now that's theirs. Like that's their energy that they push through as
only if
well.
you don't, you can cut the energy from the person that founded a company originally. Like that's what I do when I do a business, when I work with businesses. And for example, there is a father that had founded the business, and then the daughter or the son are taking over the business. You have to cut the lines to the father with the energy, that because they would hold the energy until their death.
No, totally agree.
Yeah.
That
So
has to happen quite
that has
often.
to, you have to do that. Like it's so important. And this is like business knowledge of the Aquarian age. It's like the energetic knowing of businesses, how you create them, where they are in the other dimensions. And when you create a business which is changing a lot in the collective, you're like the whole thing you're transforming all the time through the business is the collective field. So you always have to go and clean those things out. It's like
Mm,
really fascinating. So yeah, that's like business in the mystical ages.
yeah.
Yeah, but still, even there, like still you need processes. Still you need to build um discipline. Like that's what it is.
Yes.
Fascinating.
And when you come at it from this space as well, as you don't really see them as the word obstacles, right? You look at them as opportunities. You turn an O to an O. It's like before, you're like, oh, I'm just running into all these obstacles and challenges. Gosh, I can never take a break. Then you actually get excited when they arise, because when everything's running smoothly, you're like, well, this is kind of boring. I'd like a little,
Come
different perspective. I need to keep growing. I need to experience new things. If everything's always flowing effortlessly, in the sense that, I'm not saying within your state of being, I'm talking about the outskirts, right? Everything should always flow inside you perfectly. That's the point, right? But if things are falling apart all around you, if you're able to look at it as an opportunity and not let this inside get affected by it, then you're transferring and, cultivating that energy in a new way. Now it's opportunities. You're like, oh yeah, that thing that happened, I learned so much, and I was able to take that energy and move it way here. This is where it was. Look at all these different obstacles we had to go through, and now look at where it is now.
Yeah, totally.
How many times in our lives have we gone, well, I'm happy that that obstacle arose? Whether you're in a not so great relationship, maybe not so great job, not so great, this, that, and the fourth, and you look back on it, maybe not in the middle of it that it all fell apart, but year, 2 year, 3 years, and you're in a better place and you're like, wow, my life would not be the same whatsoever if I would have stayed in that area. And now it's a completely different situation.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you when it comes to that. Like, we're like with Ellie, maybe I speak about something very personal. With Ellie Vision, we're looking for investors, and we're doing that since like a couple of months. And we always had those talks, and they were very, like, interested in the business case and in everything, but it never happened. And like 2 weeks ago, the last investor was like, yeah, I want to be with you and da 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 da, but it was not the case. So like I was like stressed for like a night, and then the next morning I woke up and I was like, okay, so that's not where we're going. This is not the way the energy flows, so let's find another way. Like, okay, then we need to find other solutions, and we have to like maybe do it a little bit slower. Maybe the company wants to grow like not that fast. Maybe, there are many different things. But and I remember that back in the days when I used to work in corporate jobs, i I never understood why I had to go through all the things that I went through. And then at this morning, I was like, oh yeah, that's like when in a project something didn't work. You just need to find another solution. You just need to,
Mhm.
it is what it is. And maybe it's the best. Maybe it's exactly the best decision that could ever happen to us, that we don't have the investors yet, that we don't have to give away our shares to people we don't really know, that we maybe can like, grow and keep the shares and then build the school faster. It
Mhm.
takes us now, like we built Ali Vision to help the parents to understand themselves better in order then to help the children. Because what we want to do, Bettina and I, we want to create a new school system where kids can go to our school, and the school is for free because it's financed by Ellie Vision. So we want to like have a school upon donation. Not only the rich kids can go to our school, but every kid can come.
Mhm.
Like, if parents choose to give their children not to the classical school system, they can bring them to us, and then they can grow up in a different school system. But therefore we need, after that, we need companies with that offer jobs for kids like that, right? Like we need because what we do now, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Our school system doesn't make any sense at the moment, because the only thing that it's doing, it is it's breaking the kids. It's breaking the kids' joy and the kids' natural curiosity to explore things that they're really drawn to. And that's what we are here for. Like, if I would have not gone through the school system, I could not do Ellie now, but I would be an artist. That's all I would ever do. Like, I would create art all the time. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. So this is all I would do all day. But that didn't happen. So like, I'm here for something else in this lifetime, but that was an option. But there are kids now, that are like, when you look at the kids that are growing up outside of the current school system, their capability of living their purpose is so much higher, because they're not mentally constrained. Like, is that the right word? Like, mentally limited
Yeah.
by
Yeah. Yeah.
the system, at what the system told them. So yeah, I think that's really, really interesting, especially when it comes to the, this new age now with Web3 and with the metaverse. And all the parents that are like, oh, my kid is constantly playing PS3 or like video games. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. They learn how to organize projects and groups, and to group on, and to lead teams online
Mhm.
all over the world in different languages. They learn how they can trust others or not, how they learn so many metaphysical things that will be immensely important in the metaverse. They
Mm,
learn it now in World of Warcraft, and like
yeah.
you know, even how they build their avatars, like how they decorate their avatars with all the knives and everything. Like it's amazing. It's the new world, but we don't understand shit. We don't understand that kids need sometimes just a day that they can sit on a couch, because this is how you download information.
Mm.
How many times would you have, like when you went to school, needed a day where you could just sit somewhere and think and just
We we forget that kids are humans as well.
yeah.
It's like, you're a child. You shouldn't have a moment where you can just go sit in your room and just chill all day
Oh,
and get your day to just whatever. Like, there's times when my kids don't want to talk to me. They're just like, I just don't want to talk to you. I don't take it personally. It's like, dude, you're a human being
for you.
understanding information all around you. You could have sensory overload or whatever it is. You'll come to me when you're ready. And sometimes it's 2 hours. They come up to me, hey, I want a drink and a snack. All right, here you go.
Okay.
See you
Whatever.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, it's we hold children at such a high standard. And
Mm,
we're going, why are our kids growing up so fast? Why aren't our kids going outside and playing? Because we're holding our children at such a high standard,
yeah.
like they comprehend the world through the limited veils that we comprehend the world.
Yeah, I agree.
uh, we see the world through these different labels and constructs, and the child's mind isn't like that. It's free and everlasting. If anything, you should take a fucking seat and look at the child and pay attention to the child and learn from the child. It's not every shoe is going to fit the same foot. So every child, when they have that, and I know you see it in children as well, when they really light up and they really light up about a certain thing, and they're like, oh, this is the thing right here, I love this, and they become obsessed, and they work at it and they create with it, and they break it down to understand it. They're using their intellect, they're using their emotion, they're using their energy, they're learning with the
Every
body, and they're putting it all together. That needs to be tailored. That needs to be, wow, this is what you're really interested in, the breaking down and the understanding of things, the process of learning.
totally.
So with that school that Ali Vision is going to create, it's really it's not taking anything away, but it's actually giving that empowerment back to the children of, you're allowed to grow. You're allowed to grow. Like that's it. You're allowed to grow. Your
You're
light
allowed
isn't hindered.
you're allowed to, if you need to go outside and sit under a tree for 4 hours, you're allowed to do that. You
Mm,
will learn math tomorrow if you have to. Like,
right.
also, if it's there's I think there is a certain bare minimum of things that you should understand as a human in this world, because this matrix still works in a certain way. But nobody teaches you what you need for the matrix. Like, nobody ever taught you how to deal with money, how to create energy, how to um even fill out a tax form. Like, you live in this world, nobody teaches you that. Like,
Mm,
nobody teaches you the essentials. But there are certain essentials that we need to teach our kids, I think. Like, you have to show them, or you have to explain them, like, if you don't want to do that, give it to someone that understands it, you know. But for me, like, children are not grown-ups. They're not mini grown-ups. Their bodies function differently. Their glandular system, their hormonal system function. For example, you have boys. I told my sister, she has two boys as well. Jeremiah is 5 and Ania is 3. And I told my sister, like, when Jeremiah was like 2 or something, I told her, like, okay, look, boys, they grow differently than girls. So when a boy grows, it means that he has a big chunk of testosterone flowing in his body. Then he's like having all this energy and and then his body grows, but the body grows faster than the nervous system can grow. So the body grows and the nerves are here, but not here yet. The nerves need more time to keep on growing. That's why boys spill all the time. The glasses fall down, or they don't hear you. You're like, hey, da da da, hey, and they're not hearing you. They really don't hear you because the nerve ending is not yet in the ear. So it just takes longer. And I mean, if you know that, you can be very easy with your boy child, where
Mm,
you can say, oh, you're in school, but you're currently like very clumsy and very like dorky and all of that. And that's not because he could do better. It's because his body is growing like that. And
mm,
what we don't know shit, like humans don't know, like how many humans know even their organs in their body? Like how many humans do you know that understand how your health works? How many humans do you know that understand how digestion works? How, like, we don't even know this thing here. So when we build the school, we want to have this new school where kids grow up and they grow up in they can explore their interest. Jeremiah, for example, he's 5. When he was 3.5, he was really interested in planets. So I explained him all the planets. We built a little planet model. We had this book that we always looked together of the different planets. And my sister was like, how does he know? Like, or how do they know all those dinosaurs? Like how?
mm.
But they're interested, and then they learn. That's how every kid should learn. That's what we should do with our children.
Yes.
And so we want to do that. We want to create a new school, but therefore we need to have companies which are functioning already in this new reality. And therefore we need to create a lot of money so we can finance the school on,
Mm,
with our own companies. So maybe it's good that we haven't found an investor yet, because we would have to give away a lot of shares of Ally Vision now for a little money. When we're already more established, we get much more money for less shares. So
mm.
maybe it's, you don't know. You only know when you look back at something why things were like they were.
Right.
And what I understood now from my experience, but this is also a question of age and experiential um, reality, that no, not one time in my life, not once, not when I had cancer, not when I died with my back operation and came back, not when I lost a job, or when like, never in my life was something happened against me. Like when I look back in the
Mm. Oh,
retrospect,
of course.
it was always for me.
Mm,
It was not easy to understand at this time, but now there is this deep trust, this deep knowledge that if something doesn't work out, it's for me, not against me.
mm.
And that creates a completely different vibrational field within yourself, because then
Mm.
you're not the victim anymore. Then you're
Yes.
like protected by, then you're like held in the best possible way. And you think that this would be the right way, but our capability of like finding solutions is so limited. Like the universe at large knows so much more than we do. So who am
No.
I?
So, I mean, we are the universe. So it is you. We're not separate from that fucker. We're very much it. Um, there's something that came to me. You stressed. Notice if stress is your motivator and your only motivator. So if stress is your only motivator to get things done, there was an establishment within your nervous system that you had to be under stressful conditions. Not always saying that it's something that you like or that you're like, okay, I have to be in stressful situations. Notice if you're always like, well, I work the best under pressure. Would that may be true? But is that something that was taught you because you were always under pressure growing up? Is that something that you established that you weren't ever really able to feel safe within yourself because everything was always on edge? So if you're able to notice that within yourself, and I'm not saying stress can't be a great motivator, it very well can be. And whenever there's stress, there's growth that's happening as well. But if you're only waiting for stress to arise, when we talk about discipline, then you're sitting there waiting for something or someone to tell you what to do, because then there's crunch time, then there's stress. You'll constantly not reach your fullest capability as a human being on this planet, because you'll always wait for the very last minute to allow yourself to grow
I
rather
was
than
suffering from that tremendously. Like, oh my God, that was so much my thing. Like
the,
homework during school,
you know,
homework assignments, or like an article that you had to write. No, it's not article. What if you have to write something in school? What
essays.
essays? Yeah.
Yes. So another thing that could be as well is it's not something you're actually interested in.
Yeah.
So stress is the only way for you to be able to. So if you're always finding yourself stressed at a particular job, these different things, and, within reason, it's kind of giving you an indicator. Wow, like this isn't what actually lights me up. This isn't what I actually want to do or should be doing. So then there's that understanding, but you're also able to be more discerning and be like, okay, is this stress something that I can do effortlessly? Can I do it effortlessly without the stress? Can I notice that I'm always waiting on to be under pressure to be able to handle anything or do anything or create anything or establish, what I want to do? Because in all this time that the stress wasn't there, you could have been creating, you could have been, almost manifesting quote unquote new realities for yourself or new possibilities and potentials. So that was a thing that I recognized within myself a couple of years ago. It was stress doesn't always need to be the motivator.
No.
That's
Or
actually
healing.
horrible, total for
Or
the body.
also healing is like for me, for at least because I was so sick and I was in pain from 12 until like 33 every day. I had back pain, like I had I was taking painkillers for 15 years straight. I was in such a bad physical condition because of my back operation and the cancer I had and everything. And the only goal that I had was to heal. Like it was I think I did it with my sheer willpower. They told me like, yeah, by the age of 30, you will have your whole back fixed and won't be, you will have more operations. And I was like, not in a million years, this will be my reality. But I just like with my sheer willpower, I just, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And but I always worked like 100% and I had a career going on. And so, but my thing was my every motivator for everything I did was two things. Thing number one, I wanted to have a husband and a family. That didn't work out very well. And number two, I wanted to heal. And those two things were the motivator for me to do everything I did for like 20 years. And by the age of like 35, I was like, I'm not going to be a slave of that anymore. Like, no, like it's good now, it's done, it's over. But the healing thing, this pattern that everything needs to pay into this account of healing was had many layers to it. It was very difficult for me to not think that way anymore because I needed so much willpower and I needed so much energy to be able to change this physical reality because my whole health system was in such a bad condition, and it was related to so much karma and to so much, it at the end of the day it taught me how to heal, how to energetically heal anyone, how to look at past lives, how to shift timelines, how to shift like everything I know today is because I had to heal for the 20 years as a healer it was my school, it was my university degree, my master's, I'm a professor at healing because I did that for 20 years. But then letting go of the pattern, of the thought pattern of always going there, always like with every situation, but what's my fault in this? What do I have to learn? What do I have to clear? What do I have to? And today I'm like, yeah, it's just not going there. We're going there. Okay, easy. Like that, to change that was very, very difficult. And I think one of my best tips for that, if someone else has that you were healing so long, so you don't know how to not think of healing, is if something wants to be seen, it will show up again. You can ignore it the first 2 times. And when it's coming up 3 times, it's a pattern, then you can look at it. That's what I do now.
The thing is when it comes to healing, you know, doing teachings, you shouldn't make it personal. It shouldn't be personal whatsoever. Like for me, it's not personal at all. I mean, I remember quite a few podcasts ago, you're like, "What is your why?" I was like, "Just because I can do it." Like it's not personal for me. So the being able to step away whenever I need to, because I have to go within. There's transformation within myself. It's like, hey, taking a break. We're good. I'm going into the cave. And in the beginning, that was a little difficult for me. I was like, but so many people that there's people emailing me, messaging me that they need me. So you know, once the complete breaking of the 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 personalness of it, it was it was good. It was being devoted to life means you're devoted to all of life in whatever form that takes. And
Totally.
that's the great devotion. When you sit there and go, you know what, I'm devoted to life. Like that's it. That's what I devote 100% to. My all and everything. Doors will bust wide open. And devotion to life doesn't just mean devotion to only human beings, but that's devotion to our water, to our trees. And everyone who's listening, you should definitely check out Sadhguru Save the Soil. It's a beautiful campaign. It's beautifully marketed, and it is actually really, really important for us to save the soil because the U.S. soil is not so good. He actually started breaking down. If you eat like one apple, you have to eat 8 apples to be able to get like what they had in like the 1920s. Like you have to eat 8 apples to get the
Yes.
same nutrition that they had like
Yes.
in that
It's a
particular
huge
time frame.
problem.
And soil is life. Like really, it really is. So we need to start, putting organic material back into the soil when we take from the soil.
Yeah.
That's why grounding is so important. The organisms in the soil is connecting with the organisms within our skin because there's living organisms everywhere all through us. It's rekindling the fire. It's the earth, the grounding. It's the breath of. It's the I'm home
Yeah.
with the body at least.
Yeah. I think this deep devotion to life and this deep devotion to not needing to know everything,
Mm, big one.
trust the process.
Yeah.
That one, like for me, those two are the most essential ones. You don't like, at the moment I'm always in between letting go completely and just like, you know, um not interfering with any outcome whatsoever. And you are the creator of your reality, and you can create anything. I know both is true. And that's my study at the moment. My study, my personal study case at the moment is like, for example, with Kundalini yoga, you have so many meditations and so many exercises where you can call in relationships, you could call in prosperity, you could call in miracles, you could call in health, you could call like there's so many techniques, and they're really work, like it works. But how much do I want to interfere with what wants to be built?
Hmm.
How much do I how much direction do I want to give it? Like I know, for example, if I would do a 90-day 31 minutes per day meditation for prosperity, it would like attract a lot of money. I know that, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Or if I like, I would love to have a relationship, but do I want to do a 31-minute meditation every day to attract a relationship? Is it the right time? Or is it not the right, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see,
Like,
that's too many questions. You need to just do what the fuck you want to do, girl. Straight up. See
no,
that
you
the
know me, I want to understand things.
I know, and that's one of the biggest things. That's so when there's something that most people like actually want to experience, and that their soul came here to experience. Like part of it is one of the biggest fears that you have. It's, well, is it the right time? Is it this? Is it perfect for this? No. If you're waiting for the right time will never come.
No.
It's whenever you want. You want prosperity. Do it. What's stopping you? And it's like, well, is it the right? Is it the right? Well, what if I? What? All those questions are keeping you from experiencing it. That's all I'm saying. You want it. It's there. You know what to do.
But
Do it.
when your like my main question at the moment is, because I'm coming from this point of healing, and I'm coming from this pattern of I have to do everything right in order to heal.
Oh yeah, that's a
What
pattern right there.
what if I do nothing? What am I given by life, by the life force itself, if I do nothing exceptional?
Well, this is the thing as well. Life gave you the knowledge.
That's my personal quest at the moment.
Life gave you the knowledge to do these things, correct? Yeah. Life is like, hello, we've already given you the material. What else do you want? You want more?
Maybe I
You
don't.
want more?
Maybe I don't want to use it. Maybe I want to have a gift. Maybe I want to experience a miracle without needing to do anything. Maybe I want that.
Now
Maybe
you're
I want
stepping
to
into my
feel
field.
and
Now
know
you're stepping into my field.
maybe I want to feel and know that I'm held by life without needing to first be perfect and do anything. You know, that like that's what I'm experiencing right now. It's my personal new questionnaire that I did for myself.
And also investigate, is it the right this or the right that? See if that's the case as well. Because if it was the right time, if it was the right thing, would you do that meditation? Or are you going to wait for the gift? If it was the right time and the gift that you perceive it as a gift, because the gift was already given to you, you already have the gift. The gift is already there, wrapped. You're sitting right there. You're the gift. Hello. So investigate that as well. That's always something to check. I always do that when there's over analyzing. There's always the one who has to watch the one that's analyzing, because then it's like, okay, is this something from a different place? I have a lot of clients that are over analyzers, always waiting for the perfect this and the perfect that. But I'm very happy to see that you're waiting for life to give you the miracle.
No, like this is a thing that I'm in for months now. This is like, you know, it's I think this notion, the law of attraction, like The Secret was the book's name. The Secret, I think, is the book's name. This like how to manifest things. I want to understand that in depth.
Well, it's not a good name. The law of attraction.
I know.
You want to know why? Because opposites attract. So if you're trying to manifest something using,
That's just a belief system that opposites attract.
no, it actually happens. North and south poles. There's polarities.
But
Like that's
north
the
and south
magnet.
poles doesn't attract each other. They're
It's
not going together. No.
it's the
Growing
magnetism.
apart. No, they're
It's the
growing.
magnetism.
No, north and south pole. The north pole goes more north and the south pole goes more south.
So
Everything and every continent goes more up north at the moment.
and
Nothing.
everyone's goes, but then you have, what is that thing called when they're going intertwining? What is that called?
The magnetic field of Mother Earth.
It has a specific name. It looks like a cone. It looks almost like that thing that I have drawn up on my wall. I can't show it right now. But it's so when you take a magnet, right? And you have two magnets, one south on one side, one's north on one side, one south on one side, one's north on one side. You take the north and the south and they stick together.
Yeah, with magnets, that's true. But
Yes.
not with everything.
So we have energies within us that act the same way. So when you're marketing something as law of attraction, the understanding of attraction, which is put into the belief system, is said thing. But that's how the acts of the physical world work as well when it comes to that specific area.
When you believe that you need to attract the opposite, you will attract the opposite. But when you believe you attract the same, you will attract the same. It's the belief system is the vibrational field in the body that is creating the attraction. Whatever you believe.
So you're not letting me finish. Within the law of attraction, that is what's understood with the law of attraction. Now, what's actually happening within those things when people are attracting what they actually attract, and we're just using the word attraction, they are actually, how can I put this without it being woo-woo? Every part of their being that they know themselves to be and what they don't know themselves to be is all in the same currency towards said objective. That's why I said the law of attraction in the opening statement that I said was that the law of attraction is not good marketing, because attraction with the north and the south polarities, you're going to unconsciously attract the opposite. Now, whether you say you believe this or believe that, that's besides the point. But if you have unconscious beliefs of said things that you've learned in a book and how we've actually been able to believe it to be true because of what we've seen through taking two magnets together and sticking them to each other. And the beautiful thing about the law of attraction is if you feel like you haven't done enough shadow work and you're going from that space, you're going to find the perfect partner, a perfect situation to teach you something about yourself that you're believing. But if you go from that area, then you're able to recognize the law of attraction is a bad marketing scheme.
He's just kicking that out. It's a bad marketing scheme.
It really is. It's not how it works.
I agree with you. That's why I want to be able to explain it in depth. That's why I'm studying it.
Only way to study it is within you.
Yeah.
Only way. I mean, you can study it in books too.
Yeah, no, the books are the books that they don't give you anything new.
They so with the books is they give you a journey.
That's true. If you need one.
That's all books do is they give you a journey. An intellectual mind game
Of the thought process of the person that wrote the book.
Yes.
There's some books which are really good where the person has already a high vibration, and with the book there is a lot of teachings coming with on other dimensions. I love those books. Those are the ones that you read very slowly. You're like reading 5 pages and then you're like, oh, okay, can I read further? Then the downloads are coming in. I love that.
Well, when you take the book at face value, you miss the point. The books are always pointing you in the direction that you need to go, that you need to experience within yourself. So it's like if you're picking up an Eckhart Tolle book or even a book like The Secret, like it's not giving you any fucking secret. It's the great secret is within you. It's telling you that by putting everything into this writing. Now, the tricky part is when you conceptualize it all and go, oh, I have to go start looking outside of myself for how to attract something. It's no, it's all in here. Everything that's ever been written, every poem, every book, all of it is always pointing back to you. Now, whether it's written that way or not is besides the point. It's how you're able to understand it and how you're able to recognize, wow, this book is pointing me to me. I need to go within. I need to go within it. Everything is every piece of paint, every painting, it's pointing within. Every single body of art is pointing within. Even when you look at a tree, it's saying, hey, point within, because that oxygen that it's giving me and this carbon that I'm giving it, it's pointing within. Oh, there it is. Everything points within. That's the beautiful thing about consciousness. It's always giving the blueprint for you to recognize. I mean, we even created the internet. The internet is a damn mega understanding of the interconnectedness of the human mechanism, the interconnectedness of not only the human, but the interconnectedness of every tree, every plant, every flower, and it's the conceptual understanding of very limited. This body has way more information than the internet does, but at hand, it seems like the internet is way more. Now, to be able to process in a particular way through, your basic understanding, through your intellect, yeah, that's blowing you out of the water. But not for some. Some have really achieved great things with that intellect.
Yeah.
But consciousness is always presenting the blueprint for you. Always do everything. Every creation that you see, it's always pointing back to here. It's always showing you the answer. Hello, I'm here. But we get so caught up on the shadow.
I love our talks. You're so smart. A wise man. All right.
I'm an idiot.
I think
that was a good talk. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Good here.
Okay, you guys. If you like that, let us leave us a comment. Let us know what you think.
Love you guys. Have a beautiful
What
week.
you learn in this podcast the most is how to agree to disagree.
Yes.
Dennis and I were really good in having different perceptions of the same reality.
No, we need to. I mean, that's kind of
It's the
that's
job.
the basic understanding that we all see things differently, but that doesn't mean that we need to kill each other for it.
No, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just an opinion. That's it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change, and it doesn't change the love and the respect and the deep gratitude for each other. I think that's so important to understand as well. All right, you people.
Anything that I say, there's no personal with it. Like, I'm not taking an identified approach to anything that I say. There's always an openness.
It's channeled. You can tell. Everybody can tell. Everybody that is slightly conscious, at least.
I just, I don't know. I have to play back some of the podcasts. What did I say?
That happens to me all the time. My business partner, Bettina, is doing snippets for us. Some little videos that for social media and for other purposes. And then I'm listening to us or to myself, and I'm like, huh, did I say that? That sounds smart. Yeah, that's what it is. Amazing.
Yes. Have a beautiful week, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.